Hi, folks. This is Bucky Lewis with my good friend Tom Hayes here. We're like, just regard us like the two old farts in the balcony of the Muppet Show, basically. But we're coming to you with new technologies, Tom. We talked about how you and I have lived such a rare time of going through three different disciplines in life. One, the analog
And
age.
wives. Don't forget that.
Oh, I wanted to keep this an upbeat, upbeat podcast. uh, but Tom and I have been
Alimony hurts, folks. Alimony hurts.
aluminumini. We have been in the comedy business, both of us, for a combined total of 80 years, I think. And it's something stupid like that. But in the entertainment business, all our lives, basically. Tom, you got into it, but we've gone through the analog era, which I remember my first album that I ever did, taking a razor blade on the reel-to-reel tape and cutting it and then putting scotch tape on it to splice it. Now, amazing, the digital age. Now we're in the AI age. How do you think, Tom?
Wait. That's good. Let's just talk about we were on a great roll about the Complete Unknown, the Dylan movie.
Right.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, because I saw it last night, that Dylan movie.
And I saw, even though, like I said, I don't compare myself at all to Dylan, other than I did listen to his album, so I guess that's good. But I just identified with that life that they depicted in the movie. You know, he comes out down from Minnesota or something with this guitar and his motorcycle.
So keep talking about Dylan. That Goosebump time that I was talking about when he was in the Newport Jazz Fest. I mean, the Newport Folk Festival.
Yeah. Okay. And let's just take that one scene as an entertainer. Okay. Now you did. See, I'm relating to you. I'm bringing you out here. I mean, because we're both hosts of podcasts. We got this down.
Right.
JR. I won't say Joe Rogan, but I'm just saying JR.
Well, you worked with him, didn't you, on stage?
Of course. Yeah.
He was a Boston guy. You were part of that Boston Ding Ho era, which had to be special.
I tell people when it comes to that, I say Joe Rogan knows me. And he does. So that's just to put it into perspective. But whatever. But okay, so you did the whole Cape Cod, New England shoreline, New England ski area, happy hour.
Happy hour days. That was back in the same time.
Yeah, well, you guys were before Dick Doherty and all of that. You guys were the legend, were the names around New England.
Right.
You know, Dick Doherty, Bucky Lewis, who were a couple of
John Morgan, DJ
John
Morgan.
Yeah. And before there were comedy clubs.
Right. Well, you know where that came from? That came from the Irish sing-along Irish troubadours who come over here in the United States. And people just love that audience participation with those sing-along Irish songs, you know.
Right. And then you did some jokes in between and so that was your thing. But so you mixed it up. A lot of times you were the only entertainer, but you crossed paths, correct?
Yes, we crossed paths.
Would they come in and do like a guest song or something? I mean,
no, there was. I learned the hard way of professional courtesy. That's why yours and mine were separate but the same type of journey.
Right. That's why this scene we're talking about
in the movie.
I so connected with because, first of all, he's ready to go on, and he's got thousands of people out in front of him, and he's got a name. At least he's got that. He's not a newbie. And what did they say? What did they say to him? Wait,
Johnny Cash.
Wait, you can't go on yet. Do you remember the scene? Why he can't go on?
Johnny Cash was there.
Shows up.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? And what does that do? I mean, I've been on situations where I'm the headliner at a club, and all of a sudden they bring in a ringer. All right, so okay, but no. So here is Bob Dylan, he's a famous, but he's still got he's not the Bob Dylan icon.
Right.
And all of a sudden they say, you can't go on yet because Johnny Cash is here. Right? Now, as an entertainer, what does that do to you?
One thing that could have been done better in the movie, as I saw it, was the relationship between Bob Dylan and Johnny Cash was a little bit muddy, and that could have been more defined with maybe
just forget who it is. Here comes an established star. You know he's going to do what in front of you?
Go nuts. Make the crowd
go nuts. He's going to kill.
Right.
Going to destroy. There's not going to be much left. Right? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I confronted at those times. There's nothing you can do about it because, God is on the stage. All right. So Johnny comes on and crashes. And I love the way they filmed him looking from the wings at Johnny Cash. And he, in my opinion, was so composed. And he just had this smile, this assurance that, go ahead. Give it your best, Johnny. Even though they were very close, Johnny loved Bob Dylan. Yeah. But I sat there looking at him going, how many times have you been on an all-star show when you're looking at from the wings and you're looking at the guy and you know that no matter how good he's doing, you're gonna kill.
Well, I got to say that that was such a rare time that you went through. Look at the comedians that came out of Boston. Stephen Wright,
Dennis Leary, Joe Rogan, Conan O'Brien.
Right. That's pretty bad when you can't remember the Tonight Show.
My God. Jay Leno.
Jay Leno, yeah.
Louis C.K.
He's from Boston.
Now we have Bill Burr. But I mean, the litany of artists goes on and on and on that ended up in Hollywood with their own shows.
But now the stand-up comedy is so watered down.
You're right. Let's go on it. But here's Bob Dylan. Here's this great scene. He's looking at Johnny comes on, crushes as Johnny can, and off he goes. And as an entertainer, I'm going, oh man, how do you follow that? But he does, because he just comes out. Johnny comes on. He doesn't come on as Johnny, right? He comes on with four guys,
right?
He comes on with a bass, a drum, he blows it out. And there's Bob Dylan with this guitar and him. And he comes up the thing, Lonely. And what does he do? And I saw this scene, gave me the chills. Talk about the goosebumps.
That's right.
Hey, mothers and fathers throughout the land.
Yeah. And not only that.
Don't criticize what you can't understand.
That's right.
Your
That's
sons,
the song.
your daughters are beyond your command. There is the essence of a poet. And what happened to the crowd just with those words and a few strums, a few chords? What happened?
The times they are changing. That's right.
What happened to the audience?
They started singing along and they got up on their feet.
Yeah, it was almost a riot. And he's following Johnny Cash with a complete band, and he crushes. And that's the power of poetry, of mastery, right?
But we talk about this often. That's also the power of God.
Yes,
because
exactly.
That stuff, it was preordained. The words that came out of his mouth. I would have to say that.
Exactly. At a time when it was the truth. I mean, I started to cry during that scene, thinking, remember, because they're setting it up. The movie's brilliant. It's showing scenes of desegregation and all the fighting in the streets and the people hosing down black people on the streets down south, and it's showing the Vietnam War. It's showing the weekend that Kennedy was shot. So all of these emotional things that we went through in that generation, in that time, and he comes out with that song. mothers and fathers throughout the land, don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters will be on your command, and the place goes bonkers.
Right.
Genius, pure genius.
It was genius. It makes you think that when you have someone so far above, head and shoulders above everyone else, especially with a lyrical song like that, it's astonishing.
It also made me, at a time when it's very difficult to find a lot of things now to be proud about being an American, I said, my God, there is an American icon, a world icon. In a time when the Beatles and all the British invasion, and out comes an American voice that literally blows the world away, even to today. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature.
I remember, see, that had to be that time, that particular time. I was down in the village when I was in my late teens and early 20s. I was down there to see these people. You walk into any bar. I mean, I walked into one bar, nobody in the room except the bartenders and the help and the waitresses. And there's Woody Allen on stage playing his saxophone in this bar. Nobody's there. But you could go anybody, Tom Paxton, the list goes on for Chris Christopherson, Steve Goodman, all these people that played down in the village. It was a cultural time of necessity for Bob Dylan to come along.
Yeah, well, not only there, but in Cambridge, Passim's, all of those coffee houses. But here's the other thing that was extremely stood out. When he went into that club, and he heard Joan Baez, you could have heard a pin drop in that club, right?
No, I'm going to wrap up just in case we get shut off here.
Okay.
So, Tom, it's great. I look forward to these podcasts because we have a lot of stuff to cover. You've had a remarkable life that's not over yet, I must say, and as me too. So,
I feel like I'm getting dumped. You know how many women I've heard this speech from?
Yeah, is it in yet? It's over.
I have to go. I'm sorry. It's been fun, but it's over, Tom. It's over.
Is the money on a dresser?
All right. Now can I go back to that point?
Yeah, go ahead.
They filmed the fact that there was silence in the room, listening to every single syllable Joan Baez that came out of her mouth. And I said, oh my God. And then when he got up and he followed her, she was ready to walk out. Again, performer to performer. I just crushed the room. Here's a newbie. Bye. Right? And he hasn't earned any respect. He's brand new. And she hears a couple of words and the strums of the guitar, and she stops. And again, absolute silence in the room till the end. And the people listened to every single word, every strum of the guitar, and then applauded. What are the chances that could happen today?
Well, it's always been incredible to me because, I've been in the entertainment business all my life, and it's incredible to me how I've had several comedians open for me in my show, and I am amazed that they don't stick around to see other good talent perform. You've had that happen,
and to learn from them. To learn, these are the guys closing, so you stick around to learn. And but again, the attention span of the audience then and now.
No kidding. People don't even look at full videos anymore. They're looking at shorts and reels. Their attention span is just, but when you get people in a collective environment and they know they're going to see a good show, I think they're still psyched.
But not to that extent. It was a little local club. And people gave that much respect to the entertainer. What is more respectful than you can give to a friend or another human being than your attention?
People don't listen anymore like they used to. in anything, in any conversation, in anything at all. I mean, they've probably turned us off already.
Yeah, if you're still left, folks, we feel bad for you.
Yeah, well, this is where the commercial.
Life.
You wear briefs or boxes. Depends.